What's up? It's me back again, Analog Attack. How you all doing? And today I'm really happy to have Tom with me. Tom Lyle. How you doing, Tom?
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good
Good
night.
evening. How you been keeping?
Like everybody says, the standard answer here now is best we can.
Yeah,
Good for the situation, you know, good considering all that,
yeah.
you
I'm
know.
really
But
happy because I've wanted you on for a long time now, and so I'm really happy that finally we've got to do this.
oh yeah, that's great. I'm really glad to be here. I
Yeah,
truly mean that. I really.
thanks, Tom. I really appreciate it. And just want before we get going, that interview I read with you, you said, obviously you've got a lot of records, but you said that you don't consider yourself a collector, which I thought was
No,
interesting.
people give me a lot of shit for that because I'll they're just like, what? Well, you have 10,000 LPs. That means you're a record collector.
Hmm.
But I'm not the type that I'm not looking for ownership of things. I'm going for the music,
Yeah.
and I'm very much into sound quality. So I'm looking for the best sounding version of a record. And if that happens to be a Japanese pressing
Mm,
or happens to be an audiophile version,
right.
I'll acquire that. But
Yeah.
then I'll get rid of the other one. I'll get rid of the old one. I don't have multiple. To me, record collectors are the ones who post, that they have Black Sabbath Master of Reality in every color that's ever been pressed, in every country it's ever been pressed, every year that's ever been pressed. I have 69 of them now. I'm still hunting for this Taiwanese misprint. You might as well be collecting baseball cards or something. And, that to me makes no sense. I'm looking for the music.
Well,
And
no,
that's
it was really interesting because I've always thought that myself, and that was like probably the first time I've ever seen someone actually admit or say that they didn't consider themselves a record collector. Because I always say that too. Because there's not really any bands I collect multiple pressings of, one or two, like Motorhead
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah, me too. Yeah, right,
yeah,
right.
something like that.
Minor
But
Threat, I have a lot of the Minor Threat pressings only
yeah,
because I've always had them, and I don't really feel like getting rid of them, and they're just, they're here. But
right.
I'm not on the hunt for any more of
Every
them. I
every,
think
every
I'm
variation, every color variant.
I'm
No,
not into that.
me neither. Me neither. Me neither. And
And
I'll
and
I'll do that.
and my record collection is big enough where it's kind of self-sufficient, where if I don't listen to a record for 15 years, I don't care how rare it is, how
Right.
much sentimental value I have attached to it. That's money in the bank to me, and I'll
Yeah.
sell that record and I'll buy more records,
Yeah.
and that's how it works. And
Yeah.
that's why I might collect records, but I'm not a record collector.
I was actually really happy to read that because I've always kind of felt that myself too. So it was good to see someone else.
Separated at birth, man.
Yeah, there you
Separated at
go.
birth.
There you go. That was really cool. Tom, where do you usually buy most of your records? Do you do a lot of online shopping? Do you have a lot of stores in your area?
These days, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I'm not living in DC anymore.
Okay.
I moved up north about 15 years ago. I'm right outside of New York City,
Right.
and if I didn't have all this stuff, maybe we live in New York City. But I can't live in a closet. Well, I could, but then where would I put all my records and my stereo systems and my Marshall half stack and things like that? So we live in New Jersey, right over the river,
Right.
um, up here. And so there's lots. What I'm getting at here is that there's lots of record stores in New York, so I can go to them. Just the
Yeah.
problem was at least that some of them are opening now, but for a while a lot of them were closed. And with Discogs and eBay, there's no such thing as the Holy Grail anymore.
Right.
It's just having enough money to buy
Yeah.
it that you're looking for. So record shopping, Amazon, right? If it's a new release, I'll just go to Amazon and pick it up, or a lot. I try to go to indie places. There are a lot of them.
Mm.
But the sky's the limit, right?
Right. Right. It's funny actually
Uh,
because here in Osaka there's 20, 30 record stores, but I
there you
still have to
go.
go. I still have to go to Amazon sometimes to get certain
Right.
things. Yeah. You
But I'd
talked
love
about.
to go record shopping in
Yeah, I was
Japan.
gonna say you talked about you wanted to. You've never been to Japan, right, Tom?
No, never
No.
made it. The band broke up
Yeah.
before we made it to Japan. That kind of sucks. But I was in the band for 9 years, so that's
Were there ever any plans for Government Issue to come to Japan? Did it ever get talked? No.
No, that didn't happen. We were surprised we got to Europe a couple of times. You know, we weren't even thinking about it. And someone said, oh, why aren't you going to Europe? Oh, we'll set up a European tour. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll do that.
Cool.
That was the way of the, it's how we always thought.
Right. So Tom, Government Issue. I want to talk today. I want to talk about like just a certain time period, because I'm kind of fascinated by this time period. 86, 87, 88.
Oh, cool.
Maybe moving into 89. That period. Right. I think it was an interesting time for hardcore in general, right?
Hardcore was over then. As far as I'm, like 1985, it was over. Yeah. The thing is, I still really liked it. So even on our last album, there's a hardcore tune on it, or two, or at least I think there are hardcore tunes.
Yeah.
And there'll always be, but we did other things too, stretching out because.
Yeah. I was thinking about what other records were kind of around that time, because 7 Seconds were already doing their kind of U2-ish kind of thing with New Wind. There was that going on. And what else was there? Diagnosty, Field Day was around at that time too.
Nice record.
Are you a fan of that record, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Brian Baker and I are very good friends, at least as good friends as we could be with him on the road 11 months out of the year, well, most of the time. Not recently, but we're still good friends, and I was around when those records came out, and I talked to him about it, and I'm still a fan.
Me too. That's a real divider though. People either love that record or they really hate it. I love it.
What's the hate? I just saw them a couple of years ago because they've been playing. They play out like they were, but I saw them live a couple of years ago. Wow. With Sean on vocals.
Oh, with Sean on vocals. Wow. Yeah. Did you play? You were label mates too, though, right? Around that time, Giant.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We never saw each other, but yeah, at that time we never saw each other. We were both touring constantly, so we never saw each other.
Right.
Forever.
So, I'm going to pick up a record here, and this is going to be tough for me to talk about, because this record, it honestly is like one of my favorite records of all time. Like any genre of music, I think it's incredible.
Man, you're making me feel good. Thank you so much.
And it's amazing. So can you just talk about this record to me, Tom? Because I don't have a list of questions I want to ask about it. I just want you to talk about it. Your memories.
Well, that would be good if you ask, because I don't know what you're thinking about. But
I'm
never at a loss for words. If you know, never at a loss for words.
Right.
But right before that was a turning point for GI, because we lost our drummer. Well, we knew where he was. We just didn't play with us anymore. Right. But Pete Moffat was the drummer then.
Right.
And Jay Robbins was our bass player. And he was our bass player from right after the album that came out before that, the self-titled.
Yeah.
Because Steve Hanskin was kind of like a temporary bassist, and happened to be there when we were recording those two songs that he's on that record.
Right.
And that record was the first one with Jay and Pete on it. But I was also still writing all the music. So there's no covers on that record. No. And I wrote all the music, and Stan wrote the lyrics. But yet, Jay and Pete's contribution are massive.
The drumming on this record it's insane. I mean,
he blew us away when we were making it. So, we were very, we had no complaints the way that record came out. We were very happy with it. There was only a couple of things where we, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but not that much. When we went to a different studio, some of the tracks on the 5th album were recorded at this studio, but this was the first time we ever went into that studio, and it was mostly a reggae studio. But that was most of their clients were reggae.
Right. And, Lion and Fox, right?
Yeah.
Lion and Fox
by Jim Fox.
So where did Peter come from? What bands did he play in before?
He was with Eric Lagdameo, Eric L. He was in, but Dove, but they didn't put out a lot of
From
records.
DC, right? They're on that compilation. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, they're Bouncy. No, not Bouncy Babies. Another one. Oh man, I'm looking bad here.
Yeah,
Nevertheless, for a long time, their band was called Dove was called Eric's New Band. For a really long time. A really long time we were called Eric's New Band. And that's what band he was in. And before that, I don't know what band he was in.
Yeah, I know Dove. Yeah,
and Jay was in a band that never recorded.
really.
So, yeah.
This was pretty much his first band, his first record. Then,
yeah, he was young when he entered the band. He was young and nervous, and he was blown away that we said he could be in the band. And then the next thing he knew, he was just like, you know, playing in front of these huge crowds and being dragged to Europe and all this stuff like that. So it was probably pretty cool for him.
I mean, I'm not an expert on audio or production values or how you get a certain sound, but just to my ears, when I listen to it, it just sounds, it's a perfect sounding record. It's so
well, that was due to a couple of things, you know, Bach, there's always that.
Right.
And the engineer, the owner of the studio was the engineer for us. And I'm and by that time I had already had a lot of production experience under my belt. And I was pretty adamant on how things should be done. And so it was there's nothing done on that not much on that album that was done by accident.
Right.
Very, very lucky. And plus we were on Giant.
Right.
We didn't have a big, huge, you know, Abbey Road budget or anything, but they gave us some money to record. So we didn't feel rushed or anything also. So all those things just fit in together. And plus, all the material had been played out. We were well rehearsed, in other words, when we went in there.
Right.
So things were all worked out.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that, for me about that album, because I wrote that material.
It is.
I'm pretty happy.
I mean, I get tongue tied.
All my tributes.
So yeah, I was going to ask you kind of what were your influences, what, you know, around this time, what were you know?
Everything. I'm a sponge. If I hear it, if I like it and I hear it, I'm influenced by it.
Yeah.
I know. I can't believe that people are brought into court for copying other people's music. I mean, where does this stuff come from?
Right.
You think like Mariah Carey is sleeping with a chicken bone under a pillow? I came up with this song. No one's ever heard anything like this before. Oh my God, it's a new type of music. No. You take just keep on. You build on top of what you know.
Yeah.
And there are quite a few songs, but then again, but I would, you know, my writing process is really weird. So some of those were influenced by other things I've heard, but some of those things, like I just like be playing along with like a classical record or something.
Yeah.
And copying, and trying to figure out a riff from that, and then it would end up into that song. But then then it's a kid. It was me playing it through a Marshall stack. So, you know, no one's bringing me into court. You know?
Right. And then there's the sitar solo on Wishing, which is just so fantastic.
Well, we used a sitar on the album before that. That was Frank's sitar.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
John Stabb's housemate was Frank Bartlow, and he owned a Coral electric sitar. Can we borrow your sitar, please? Thank you very much.
Wow.
And so we used that. I didn't go to, oh no, was that the story? Or did I go to India for 3 months and study with, no, it was Frank's sitar.
But
they play it like a guitar. So
it's amazing, and it works so well. It's just perfect. And again, the guitar sound. I mean, there's a couple of guitar sounds that I love. Steve Jones on Nevermind the Bollocks is one of them. And your guitar sound on this one is equal to that, in my opinion. I hope you take that as a compliment, because it's just
Thank you.
amazing.
Oh yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
I did it with a guitar and an amplifier. It's the it's it, I could I don't know if you're a guitarist or not,
No.
but there are certain things you pick up on how to play your guitar to make it sound good.
Right.
So I could play through your equipment or somebody else's
Mm.
equipment, but it's still going to sound like me.
Right.
I mean, I'm not trying to boast here. I'm trying to say that the determination of the sound is more the person who's playing it than the equipment they're using. So when I say I use the guitar and an amplifier, it's very true. That's what I use.
Yeah. Like John Coltrane, I guess.
That's I'm a big fan, by the way.
Yeah, I guess so.
I have many of his albums.
Me too. Maybe too many. I don't know.
Yeah. Never too many.
Never too many.
That's impossible.
But Tom, when you see people like writing about this record, everybody always brings up The Damned. It sounds like The Damned. Everybody always says that, right?
Why?
I don't get it either. It doesn't. I mean, you could say that John's vocals are.
Yeah.
That's it.
He was. Yeah. But that's it.
That's
right?
it. But nothing else sounds like The Damned at all.
I wasn't listening to the. I mean, I liked The Damned at the time. I always liked The Damned, but they weren't a very big influence on me musically, to be honest with you. Maybe the first album, you know.
Right.
But that's about it.
Yeah, I always thought it was like a bit of a lazy description because for me, I mean, yeah, John's vocals do sound a bit.
John's vocals definitely, yeah, I can see that.
But that's it. Nothing else does at all. It's much heavier on the guitars and.
Oh yeah. Oh come on, please.
Yeah. Right.
That's to me. By the time '86 or '87 was coming around, anything, things like that, and they were a pop group.
Yes. This is like this would have been like Phantasmagoria era, right? Of The Damned.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So they were a pop group.
Exactly.
I wanted to sound heavy.
This is a heavy guitar record. Absolutely.
I wanted to be that was done on, like I said, not much was left to chance. Well, some was, but not. No, that was not left to chance. I wanted it to be heavy. I got some flack from the other members of the band.
Really?
At that time, 87, 88, John wanted to become more of a more mellow sound, more of an REM, Robin Hitchcock kind of thing.
That's interesting.
And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And I was more of a hardcore kind of guy. I mean, my favorite band is The Faith. And, so to this day, they're probably still one of my favorite bands. And Pete, his influence was more pop rock, pop metal. Like, I always said he should have been in a W band, White Snake, Winger, something like that. He probably fit in. And Jay was just into music.
Right.
And one of the nicest people on the planet. So,
do you remember how that record was kind of perceived by Maximum Rock and Roll and the kind of the punk, like the fanzines of that time?
No, I don't.
No.
Because all I wanted at that time was people to like it.
Right.
And people seemed to like it. And that made me happy. I don't remember. The only thing I remember was one kid came up to me and he said, "Why are all the good songs on side one?" And I said, No, they're not.
No, they're not. No, that's not true.
2 days after the record came out. And I'm like, oh, damn.
That's not true. That's not true at all.
True.
Where you live and Wishing is like the perfect side 2-1-2 punch. What are you talking about?
Thank you.
Yeah, crazy. That's insane.
That's the only thing I remember. That's the only comment I remember on that. That's the only thing I remember. I'm sorry not to be able to answer your question.
That's okay. No. It's just it's fascinating. So, did you tour on the back of this? Was this when you went to Europe after this or before?
God, we did tour. Yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
In '86, We spent a few months in Europe and a lot of shorter tours in the
Right.
US. 87, we toured North America.
Right.
We played from the tip of Florida, the tip where all the sensitivity is
Yeah.
on Florida, to Edmonton, Canada in the north where we saw the northern lights.
Wow.
And we probably put 100,000 miles on that poor van.
Wow.
It was like the end of the Blues Brothers where the car just falls apart. It was pretty much like that. That van was worthless when we got back. And we toured a lot that year. And then 88, we did the same thing.
Yeah.
We went to England in 88, and then we toured North America again. And we did just the whole thing over. It was like all over again.
Tom, do you
My
remember?
girlfriend rented out a room at one point.
Do you remember what cities you played in England? Because one of my biggest regrets was not seeing you in England, because I saw.
They didn't play in London, but
No.
well, yes, I remember all the cities. I'll email a list to you. I mean,
Okay.
it just, actually you could look, it's online. I'll tell you where all the shows are. But I remember everyone played, yes.
Do you remember who you played with?
Was, yes, no. But not all. Not all. We played some up and coming metal bands, though. I remember that.
Really?
Some very big metal bands that became very big at the time.
From England?
When we stayed at Napalm Death's apartment. And it's the first time I ever saw one of those thermostats where you put the coins in. I never seen one of those before.
Oh, yes. Yeah. That brings me back to my youth.
But their record their Scum hadn't come out yet. It was just about to come out.
So you must have.
I don't know who the hell they were.
You must have stayed at either Mickey the drummer's house, or Shane, or
the guy with the squish face and the and the curly hair. What's his name?
Shane, the bassist. Yes, that's amazing that you stayed with them, because that's great. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, we had a good time. Except for the way the second tour ended. We crashed the van, and that's why we played London in '88. We didn't play London in '88, but we played Wales. We liked that a lot.
I think you probably played in Newport at TJ's.
It was called the Tavern.
Really?
I think TJ's. No, it was the Tavern.
Okay.
It was like they tried to do it up. Like they made all the walls, look like rock.
Right.
That's where we played in Wales. Yeah. We had a great time. Oh God, did we?
I think the guy Simon would have been the guy that put on that show.
That is correct.
Simon.
We're talking 35 years ago.
Well, Tom, I used to go to Newport all the time because I lived just across in Bristol and Bath. So we used to go to a lot of gigs in Newport. So I remember quite well about Newport. Yeah. And Simon was very important. He put on all the good shows.
You go.
Yeah.
Is he still around? Is he doing okay?
I don't know. I know the place I just mentioned got closed down. There's another guy. There's all sorts of people. The guy who sang for the Cowboy Killers with the Mohawk, he had a record store too. They were all the guys putting on the shows over there.
We didn't have time to go shopping, record shopping.
Right.
And well, Newcastle's a place we went to have Pet Sounds in Newcastle.
Yeah.
God, did I do a lot of records there. I say, well, and I went record shopping in UK, and we were also on tour.
Right. So you mentioned the crash. How bad was that crash?
Ended the tour.
Right.
Very bad. Our drummer Pete broke his leg.
Damn.
It sucked. It was probably the worst thing that ever happened to us. It was pretty bad. I mean, getting threatened by skinheads at a show or something like that, that's pretty bad too. But a van crash is a lot worse. I remember Jay saying, after he had maybe 10 years later, after he was in GI, and he was in a few other bands, and he had done Jawbox, and he said, GI was the band where my life was threatened the most. I don't know if that was a compliment. Maybe that was a compliment.
Who was driving? Just the tour guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the driver.
The driver was driving. Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks.
And I guess that's why he named this record.
No, it's not. It was after J.G. Ballard. It was after the J. That record is like our White Album. Because everybody contributed to it, songwriting. Right. And Jay came up with the title of the song Crash.
Yeah.
He came up with the lyrics and the vocal. He sings on Crash.
Right?
Yeah, because Stab wouldn't do it. He said it was too metal. And I'm just report. I'm just the messenger. Don't kill the messenger. But that it was after the J.G. Ballard novel and subsequent film. But the film hadn't been yet by then. Right. We would never have called it that if the film had called it out already, because it sucks so bad. But but that's what it's named after.
Right. This is an amazing
record. Tell you who wrote each song and stuff like that on that album, if you're interested. But,
I mean, this came out just a year after you.
Mm-hmm.
Were a lot of these songs already written before, or?
Oh no, we would have put it on you. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted that record. I wanted to wait and make that a double album.
Oh wow!
I didn't think I had written enough songs. I mean, I didn't say that, or I really didn't feel it, but that's probably why I was thinking that.
Right.
Because I don't think I had contributed enough songs to it. And I like the songs that I contributed to that, which were Connecticut,
Good, yeah,
Forever,
yeah,
Better Than TV. I wrote that one. And
that's my favorite song on side one.
Mine too.
Yeah, of course.
I wrote the opening, which I don't like that song very much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, not happy with it.
But I wrote it. And I wrote some other songs on side two, like The Price.
Yeah.
And what's the other one that starts with the Fear?
Fear.
Yeah, I wrote that one too.
Yeah.
But Pete wrote the best song on the record, Strange Wine, the hit. Pete wrote that.
You did that video for Strange Wine.
The video.
That is something else. That you look like you haven't.
You know the story behind it, don't you? I'll tell it because not everybody knows. We were in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Okay? And what do you do when you're in a hardcore band and you're really bored? There's nothing to do. You either go to a hardware store, because those are always fun, or the mall. If they have a mall, you go to the mall. So we went to the mall. And outside the mall, at the record store in the mall, it was a chain store, probably FYE or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a sign on the outside the door, make your own music video. And we went to them, hey, if we gave you a record, could you use our record? Because you probably don't have this in your store, which was a Crash record. And they said, yeah, whatever. And choose a background. And they gave us a choice of backgrounds. And here's the room. And you do one try, one take. And that's what it was. I think it's brilliant.
It's fantastic. I watched it again last night just to kind of before doing this, and it just looks like you had so much fun.
On YouTube, it has like 1 million hits or something.
Yeah. Well, it's great. It's just it's amazing.
It worked.
It worked.
That was dumb luck. That was dumb luck.
Yeah. Amazing.
We made a music video.
He did.
And that's why we did Strange Wine to it. The Pete song. I helped a little bit. We all did, like the reversing of the time.
Right.
That was my idea and stuff like that. But but he came to the band with that. The riff.
It's an amazing song. There's a 12-inch single of that too, right? Like an EP.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have it with me, but yeah, very cool.
I have it. I can take you on a tour.
Yeah.
My gilded cage, if you want.
So Tom, are you saying you had more songs for that record that didn't get used?
Only 2.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The Land of Me and the other one that's on volume 2 of Land of Me and Rabbits.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
That was our driver was always, our sound man was always saying rabbits. So named the song.
And then I guess like after that record, Lost and Found Records in Germany put out like
Oh yeah, they put out Finale, the
to-
double live. The double live. I
double
was so pissed.
live. There you go.
Why wasn't it gatefold? I told him. Oh man, I was so pissed it wasn't gatefold.
I want to ask you about your relationship with that label, because there's a lot of stories about that label.
I don't know. Oh, should I not tell you any of them so they can keep on, stories can keep on happening? But I'll tell you the story.
Come on, man. Come on.
They were a bootleg label, right?
Yeah,
They put out punk rock. They're a bootleg label.
Yeah.
And but they would tell the bands often, if they could find them, we're going to put out a bootleg of you, and they said that they did that to us. I'm like, what are you going to use? And they told us what tape they're going to use. I'm like, no, don't do that. So they did the first 7-inch.
Right.
I forget the name of it because they named it. Stupid cover and everything but they did it like a bootleg, like with the Full Metal Jacket, picture on it and stuff like that. You're gonna get in trouble for that. He goes, we're a bootleg label. We're not gonna get in trouble for it. We're either gonna get arrested and put in jail, or we're not. So you just do everything you want. So and then they came out and said, well, that came out really good. Let's do a live. We're gonna do a live album now. And I said, what are you gonna put on it? And told us, I said, no, don't put it on that. Here's these tapes. Put it on it.
Right.
And it was the same thing with Mystic Records. People came to us, why do you go on Mystic? Mystic is like the K-Tel of hardcore. I mean, they're just like crap. They're just like, no. It was. I think it was a brilliant idea because I don't know if you know anything about Mystic Records.
I don't.
Like
I know.
kind of put out. They weren't EMI.
Right.
And that's what who we should have signed for, but instead we chose Mystic. No, the reason why was because we never signed a contract.
Right.
We were beholden to no one. We didn't have a record company. Record companies came to us.
Right.
And we didn't have, on the West Coast, we couldn't, we were not that popular on the West Coast. We never headlined on the West Coast. We always played support. And when we did, the sound was always horrible because back on the West Coast, they have this thing of not letting the support acts have any channels on the soundboard kind of thing. And they give them a crappy sound. You can't use the subwoofers, things like that. So we went with Mystic. And they treated us like kings because we were the first real band they ever had. So they flew us out to California. We played the Olympic Auditorium, an arena gig, which wasn't something we ever wanted to do, and we still didn't want to do it when we did there. But we played with Conflict, Subhumans.
Oh my God.
Just this huge gig in front of thousands of people. We played Fender's Ballroom with Conflict again and some other LA bands. And we had smoothies on Hollywood. We stayed at the same hotel that Ozzy Osbourne was at in the early 80s when he was strung out. And they found him when his wife found him and resurrected his career. And they see all the videos on the MTV or VH1. What's the name of the show? You've seen it. It's that hotel we stayed at. We had an RV bus kind of thing touring on the West Coast. It was the greatest thing oh man, it was such a good idea to go with Mystic.
That's cool because you don't usually hear very many like positive stories about Mystic, so it's good to hear.
No, why would you?
Yeah.
I mean, they had their own recording studio too.
Yeah.
So they found some tracks, boy, but they pissed because we took the tapes with us. And we wouldn't let them put out we used it for the GI5. We used them for some basic tracks and for demos. It was definitely demos, basically. We did that one slow version of Mad at Myself.
Yeah.
That was recorded there. And we did one other. song that's not on any other album there, I think. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, we had the time of our lives. We saw the Merv Griffin show, you know, in studio audience. We went to that too.
Wow.
We had the time of our lives, man.
I'm excited about the Conflict and Subhumans thing.
It was a pretty good show, man. We were backstage and we were hanging out with those punk rockers and we just had a great time.
There's a lot of footage of that show, or those two shows on YouTube. The Conflict.
There's videos of it too. There's a video of us. They put out, you know, flip-side videos.
Yes. Yeah.
That they filmed it in Fender's Ballroom too, where I broke a string on Familiar. Wow. Oh man, why didn't I change my strings before that day?
Wow.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, I have a lot of funny story about like Lost and Found and Mystic and You and Me. Actually, it's weird. So I used to do this like distribution. I used to sell Japanese records. I used to do a label that sold Japanese hardcore around that time. And one day I got a big box from Lost and Found, and it was a box of Lyle CDs.
Mm-hmm.
Which
that was after it was in the early 90s. Then.
Yeah. I mean, I hadn't ordered them, but you know, he sent them to me. I sold them. And,
good.
Yeah. But
Tony, they never. One bad thing about Lost and Found is they never paid any bands any money, not a cent. They gave them free records, is what they gave them. That was their payment. Records.
Right.
Like, what the hell are we gonna do with all these records? I'm kind of busy being in a band.
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna do with fucking records? You know, so that kind of sucked.
Well, that was the funny thing, because like a week after he sent me these CDs that I didn't ask for, which, you know, whatever, he sends me a postcard. Where's my money for these Lyle CDs? Are you the Mystic Records of England? Was what he wrote on this postcard.
Like, all right, good for him. Burnt. What?
Burnt.
B-R-N-D.
That's it.
Burned.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Not many people loved him.
No.
And then he went to hip hop after he was done with punk.
Did he? I didn't know that.
Wow. He put out hip hop records.
Wow.
I think he was more into it for the money. But he kind of looked like Lemmy, though. So it's just, I think so him putting out hip hop records was kind of odd. But whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a double live album out, though. Did I tell you about that? You know, that's kind of cool. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I was just in the record store yesterday, and there's that FU's Origin of the Straw Dogs. He did that too, right? So many things.
Yeah, is that a good? I haven't heard that one. I should spin that. I heard this good.
Yeah,
it's not a bad, but I remember it as good.
Yeah, it is good.
Why didn't the band put that out? Whatever. We don't. Yeah. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Although I still have his phone number. I don't know if it's any good.
Really? Wow, that's amazing. So Tom, we're kind of friends on Instagram, as you know. So I was stalking. It's not really the correct word, but I was looking. No. I was looking at your Instagram.
What was it? What do they call it? You're a lurker.
Lurking on your Instagram, and I came across some great records that I love too. So I thought, if you don't mind, I'll have a look at some of these records, because they're some of my favorites too. So the first one that I was really happy to see was this beast here.
Oh man, yeah. And you have the Japanese. That's a different printing than mine.
I think it's the same. I think yours is the same, right? The Japanese pressing. There's only one Japanese pressing, I think.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. Brilliant record. Can I tell my story?
Come on. That's what I want.
You want to go on? Okay. I bought that new when it came out.
Really?
Yes. And I looked, and I didn't know that was pre-internet.
Right.
Pre-MTV.
Yeah.
Right. So you found out what new records were out by going to the record store
and buying them. Yes.
And you couldn't hear them first.
Right.
You had to buy it if you wanted to hear it.
That's it.
But I saw that record and I looked at the back cover. You're going to turn it around. And there's the photos. You're covering them up with the Obi, but that's cool. You can see two of them. But and I saw those guys on the back cover. And I said, oh my God, look at them. Those grizzled, I mean, they are not kids anymore. And it doesn't look like, hi mom, I brought home some friends. And those four guys walked into the house. My God, man. I said, I'm buying this record. I don't care if it's shit. That's going to be a great record. And it turned out to be pretty damn good.
It is good.
So,
it's another one of those people either love it or hate it. I love it.
I don't talk to people who hate it. I don't know it.
Yeah.
Really don't know any people who don't like it.
Undeniable.
Why would I know people who don't like that record?
Right. But they were, especially this guy, Ian Gillan, he was partying pretty hard at this time, right? And yeah.
Good for him. He's one of the guys, if he had not lived, he had died for our sins. I'm telling you, look at that poor guy.
Look at him.
I mean, all of them, really.
What the funny thing,
what's cool about it is that they did this in a photo section. Those were the best photos they got.
The best ones. But also I like it's from the 80s, but it looks like 1972 kind of thing.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Nothing bad with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. I always thought that was cool though. So yeah, this is one that I was like, oh man, Tom likes this record, and he's got you have the Japanese pressing too, so that was cool. Yeah.
I have all the Ozzy era Black Sabbath, Japanese, and the first 4 or 5 on first pressing.
With the wide obies, right? The really old pressing.
No, I'm telling you, I'm talking about British first pressing.
Oh, okay. Wow.
On the swirl with
the
vertigo swirl.
Yeah.
Sound that's the best sound, man.
Yeah, I've
the
heard
Japanese sound good because of the silent surfaces, so very quiet surfaces. You really hear the music,
right?
And they probably use the same plates to press them.
I think so.
But I swear those vertigos, you could see the grooves come through the other side of the record. It's just so loud and muscular sounding.
Yeah.
Just beyond cojones. It's just really Black Sabbathy. I like those.
Yeah, because the ones that we had as kids were all the NEMS pressings. They were the ones that were available when I was
bad. They're not bad.
They're not
but
bad.
if you heard one next to the other, it's like 5 times removed. It's like they dubbed the cassette 5 times.
Right.
And then they used it for the NEMS.
Wow, man. Here's another one. Again, I was happy to see.
Pentagram. That was done by the time I know a lot about Pentagram.
Okay.
Because, I was at the Keg gig.
Wow.
The Keg Full of Dynamite record, the live. Yeah. I was at that show.
Wow.
Randomly walking into a place. Oh, I heard a band is playing here tonight. And it turns out to be Pentagram. And me and 25 people to see Pentagram. So I followed them from, I guess, day one.
Right.
I was old enough to was I driving a car then? I was really young, but the drinking age was still 18, which meant that 14-year-olds can come in.
Right.
They didn't enforce the age. So I followed Pentagram for a long time. And I know at that point, the drummer was writing a lot of the songs by that time. And Bobby was ill. Let's put it that way.
Right.
But yet he showed up to record. So, but I still think it's a mighty heavy record. I have the Svart pressing of that one, which is the best one.
Yeah, this is like, this is the Peaceful one, right? Peaceful Records.
Yeah, it's okay, but the Svart one is the best.
Really?
Yeah, I recommend it highly. I pay the extra $100 or whatever. It's worth it. It's worth it. I'm telling you, it's really expensive. But the Svart is the best one.
I have a Svart pressing of one of their other records actually, with a totally different artwork. I forget which one though.
But there's also the live album, Live in Finland album. I don't know if you have that one.
No.
Bobby, it's very worth it.
Really?
Worth it.
Is that a Svart one too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only on Svart. You can't get it in any other label.
That's a quality label.
But I got that on the day it came out. Yeah, they really care.
Yes, you can tell. Yeah.
They're for music's sake is why they press the records.
I've heard that like a lot of the people that work there are all the old like Finnish punks. A lot of punks work in there. Yeah. Good. Yes. Yeah.
Me and Finnish punk, I'm telling you, we're like this. No, I'm serious. I'm really into that shit. I really am. I have a lot of Finnish punk records.
Oh, what's some of your favorite Finnish punk? We'll go, of course.
Russia Bombs Finland.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, just, you need other ones, but if you just have Russia Bombs Finland, you're doing good.
Yeah,
That'll give you the full picture of why Finnish hardcore is really good.
Yeah.
And it gives you the range from the amateurs to they know how to play their instruments, and it's just a really good record.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
Hardcore 83 is almost as good, but not as good.
No, I think so. Yeah. All right. Here's another one.
Oh.
This was the. Do you have this pressing? Do you have a proper one?
I don't. I have the Music Matters pressing.
That's pretty good too, though, right? That's good too, right?
Me. What do you mean that good too? It's the best one. It's 245 RPM LPs from the the original analog masters.
Right.
Those are not. That record isn't done very well because it's done by anal retentive, jacket and tie wearing Japanese people. But it's not Music Matters. Music Matters is the best one. It was $50.
Right.
New retail. I think now they're charging $60.
Right.
Really worth it. That record I first heard when I was like 13. Now I had heard jazz before, but then I heard that record.
Yeah. Yeah.
Done right. Jazz done right.
People, it's funny you say that about the suit and tie thing, because that is a common comment about these Japanese pressings, is they're too polite.
I don't find that.
People say that. I'm on a jazz vinyl board on Facebook, and people are saying that
they're wrong.
They sound good, but there's something missing. They're kind of too polite, is what people say.
I don't. Well, I have about 8 feet of Japanese records.
Really?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. To me, either an original, you get it. If you can find an original, if you can't find an original, the Japanese.
Yes.
That's my thing.
Yes.
And because of the black background, there's no surface noise.
Right.
And most of the time, if it's on a major label, they're using the original, they call the plates to make them.
Right.
So the same one that made the original is made by the Japanese in most cases.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm really into that. I'm not part of any of those groups or anything because I can't afford it.
Right.
In other words, I'll just like max out all my credit because they'll be telling me about all this great stuff. I just, so I'll just end up maxing out all my credit cards and stuff. So I'm not going on those websites. No, thank you for the information. But they're not, they're not polite. They're just used to background noise.
Right.
When you take away the background noise, they're taking away some of the magic of the vinyl or something like that. That's bullshit. You want to hear the music. And if you want to hear the music, the Japanese is the way to go.
Right. I mean, I'm here in Japan, so for me, obviously, I'm surrounded by Japanese records.
No, fuck it.
So
I'm sorry.
Another band, I've got a few more. I was happy to see you're a big fan of this band as well. Slade.
Slade. Oh yeah, I didn't notice that record. But
this is the Japanese pressing of Play It Loud with totally different artwork. So.
Oh really? Wow. Yeah. I saw Slade.
Did you?
In 1975 on their U.S. tour. Yes. No, I was not driving yet. My mom had to drive me to the show. They played the Calderone Theater in Hempstead, New York. This is where Public Enemy is from.
Yeah.
And it's where I kind of grew up. And me and Public Enemy. And I saw, it was one of my first concerts I ever went to. And before that, I fell in love with them on American TV.
Yeah.
On late night TV, they had these 2 shows, Don Kirshner's Rock Concert and ABC In Concert, which is on Channel 7 in New York, where I saw them. And Slade was on both of them. And he would get up on a catwalk right on top of the amps and do his guitar solo, unaccompanied guitar solo on top of the amps. And they were still doing that when I saw him in 1975. And I was a child. I was just a child, but it was one of the first concerts I ever went to and influenced me for the rest of my life,
Mm.
what song on the U album was influenced by Slade? That's my question to you right now.
Oh my
My
God,
tag.
you put me on the spot. Jesus
Yep.
Christ.
What song was influenced by, which is our Slade song? Well, mine, because I wrote it. Which is our Slade song?
Not
It's on
Melancholy Me.
side 2.
Not
Yeah, it's
Melancholy Me.
Melancholy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was our Slade song. In other words, Pete, don't play the hi-hat on this. Just use the kick and the snare until the chorus. And when the chorus comes in, then you can use the cymbals. And I do the rock and roll, the blues rock and roll, the only song in GI I've ever done that on.
Man, I did not know that.
Learned it just for that. Not really, but I learned it just for that. And that's my Slade.
Beautiful.
Love Slade.
Heavy band, man. Not taken seriously just because of their image and stuff.
Okay. Because why? You think?
Why
aren't they taken seriously?
The way they look, and I think originally they were.
The way they look.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, a lesson for you right there, kids.
Yeah.
Do the blind taste test, right?
One of the best bands of all time. Again, one of the records. Oh man, Slade. You know.
Oh, Slade, the SLAYED. Yes, is a perfect. Perfect record.
Yeah.
You have a Japanese of that, I hope. I have a Japanese of that, but it has no obi.
Mine either. And it has someone's name, but it's a German name written on it, but it's a Japanese press. I don't know how that ended up in Japan, but there you go.
Right. Well, the not having the obi does not affect the sound, by the way.
True. And it makes it about 1/10 of the price as well.
Not except for that record. Because except for that record, that's still going to be expensive even without the obi.
Right.
Because I don't know why there's just not a lot of them or something.
Yeah.
It was hard to find. In Flame, I'm still looking for a Japanese In Flame that's not $1,000 or something with the obi. Well, if you can find one.
All right.
Can you find one? I don't think you can find one.
I'll have a look for you. I'll have a look.
In Flame, please. Oh man.
I'll have a look for you.
Find In Flame Japanese. I have an original. I have a. Did I lose my light? Am I still okay?
Oh, you're okay. A little bit darker, but fine. Yeah.
Okay, because it was light by the light of the computer there. My computer screen, my 26-inch computer screen. I have a desktop. I'm an audiophile geek.
Right.
Kind of guy. And I have it's my music server. So I use a gaming computer that has no games on it. So it's in other words, it's a very powerful computer.
Wow, cool.
And I have my CDs are on the shelves for decoration because they're all loaded into hard drive. So I can go, that's another interview, I think.
Wow. Yes. All right. I've got a couple more. This was another favorite.
Oh man. Of that record. And I thought, wow, they must have done a lot of fixing up and mixing. No, they didn't. You listen to the live audience tapes, that's how it sounded.
This is the best. I mean, there's probably bootlegs that could be better. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but yours isn't Japanese though. Yours not Japanese. Why not?
It
in
is
Japan.
The obi is in the box.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, there
I don't keep my obi on either because of the pain. Yeah, thank you. You don't want to keep it on the box.
It kind of fell off actually when I was clumsily unwrapping the box, but there you go.
It's quite all right, but you're never going to sell it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Never. One thing I liked about this was obviously they asked Jimmy Page to write some liner notes, and he just wrote those couple of sentences on the back. It's just perfect.
That's Led Zeppelin, man. Yeah. Look, you got some credits at all. But that's, as a kid growing up in my bedroom with Cream magazine or Circus magazine, no internet, no car, and then they put out a record with no liner notes on it. It's kind of like, the Battle of Evermore. What the hell is the Battle of Evermore about? I'll never know.
I know.
I'll never know.
I just laughed out loud when I turned over and just thought like he'd written 3 sentences about this.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's just so cool. But that's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite Zeppelin albums. I
Yeah,
love
this
that so
one
much.
and the it's right here. So the BBC sessions.
That's good. Yeah, 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 yeah. The bootleg is really good of that
Oh
one.
yeah.
Of the live side, there's a bootleg out, and they compressed the fuck out of it. It must have been from FM or something, but it sounds so much heavier
Really?
because it's compressed to like AM radio compression, where a tap on a hi-hat is as loud as a stack of amplifiers.
Wow.
So it's really cool. I really like the bootleg of it.
Amazing.
It's a famous bootleg.
Okay.
910.
It's just a bootleg of the BBC sessions, right?
Right. No. The
No,
live.
How the West was won. How the West was won.
No. On the BBC sessions,
Yeah.
half of it is studio.
Yeah.
The other half is live.
Yes. Yeah.
The live show.
The Playhouse Theatre.
Yes, and there's a bootleg of that.
Okay.
Under a zillion titles.
Okay.
But it's off the FM radio. And it's compressed to like within an inch of its life, and it's just really kind of cool.
Amazing.
And I like it a lot. I kind of prefer it.
All right. Let's finish off with some hardcore punk.
Please, it's about time. Yeah, but people don't like that record. It's fine. I'm fine with me. And I saw them on that tour.
I thought you might have. Yeah.
Most of those songs. That's when they were in the U.S.
And
I saw them play at a place that had no stage. It was just like the floor, and they were in the corner, right?
Yeah.
But they were still playing GPS cosplay, all dressed up and everything. And so it was a really good show. I really liked it. And I have a tape of the show, with the soundboard. It didn't come out that great, but I still listened to it for the memory's sake. And I can still hear the licks in my head from that.
What an amazing band. Yeah.
You know what song GI I wrote from GI that's influenced by GBH? And I just told one other interviewer about this.
Okay.
Is World Caved In.
All right.
Now, if you know GBH, you listen to World Caved In, which is kind of like a happy hardcore song, right? But you hear that guitar riff with the open string on the bottom. It's from City Baby's Revenge kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's where it's from.
Yeah.
I love GBH so much. They influenced me quite a bit. And the other song that's influenced them is Hear the Scream.
GBH influenced. Wow.
Yeah, love that record. Love that band. I have a Japanese of that. I think mine's different.
Really?
I think there's no presence of that. Yeah, mine's different.
This is the VAP with the green.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I have that. I have 3 Japanese pressings, GBH. I have City Baby Attacked by Rats.
Yeah.
City Baby's Revenge.
And Midnight Mothers. One of the best hardcore bands of all time, I think, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, there's no question about it.
Yeah. Last one. I think you're gonna like this one. Let's hold it.
The best hardcore record ever made. A lot of people just say that. When I post that one, that's people type that and just one after another. The best hardcore record ever made. Yes. And our band played a few shows with them.
Really?
I saw them in DC a couple of times, and nicest guys on the planet. Kind of strange, they were, from middle class backgrounds, yet they pretended like they were on the dole, kind of, they go dumpster diving and stuff, and very, give all their money away to the poor, which is a noble thing to do, but not if you're not going to have any food that you have to go to dumpsters to eat their restaurant garbage, but the nicest guys on the planet, really nice, and a great fucking record.
Yeah. Very unusual. It's very kind of British sounding hardcore record, I guess.
Yeah, people say that they're America's Discharge.
Oh.
And okay, they kind of have that in them a little bit, but they're also their own.
Yeah.
They have their own very aggressive very, very aggressive sound, and I like that.
They must have been incredible live.
Like it. Yeah, the better on that though, to be honest with you.
Really?
Not as good as that record.
Wow.
Because that record is so in your face.
Yes.
And depending on what PA is, is at the show, right? What kind of hall it is, whether the cops show up or not to stop the show before they play, and all that goes on with hardcore. But yeah, they were great live, because you see the Target video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Target video, right?
Mm.
And that was relatively early. That was before that record came out.
Right.
They probably had most of their songs written by then, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to judge the time,
Mm.
That Target video, man, that should just be on a loop.
Yeah, because that record was kind of a big step up from their earlier recordings. They really kind of.
Yep. They drank the Kool-Aid or something, all of a sudden, boom, whoa, they weren't that good on their earlier stuff.
Right.
That's a great record. Good choice, man. Good choice.
Thanks, Tom. Well, we could talk for hours, but I think we should save it for part 2, if you wouldn't mind coming back and talking to me again.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Thanks.
But although the flights to Japan and stuff like that, but we'll work it out.
You got to come when.
And there's one record that you said where you'll look for me, the In Flame.
Slade.
It's not impossible to find with an Obi. I'm sure it's not impossible to find with an Obi. But the US or for someone who's not trying to take all my money away from me, it's probably not impossible to find, but still, I might have better luck than I do.
I'll keep my eyes to the ground for you.
I owe you, man. Thanks so much.
And I just want to say one more time again that You record is one of my favorite records of all time. So thanks again.
Are you going to lose sleep over something you forgot to ask?
No. I'm just happy.
I'm an open book, man.
No. If I think of it, I'll ask you next time. No worries.
Okay, great. Until next time.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Good night.
All right. Until next time, stay healthy and stay clean.